It's not every day you witness a young YouTuber rocket to the top of the internet's favorite watch list, then plummet in a whirlwind of rumors, bans, and burned bridges. Yet that's exactly what happened to Jack, a once hopeful dreamer who let the intoxicating rush of clout morph into a path filled with questionable deals, alleged manipulations, and jaw-dropping missteps. He had the sports cars, the mansions, the parties, everything people imagine when they think of fast fame. But behind the flashy posts, a storm was brewing. Today, we're peeling back the layers of Jack's high-speed fall from grace, examining the controversies and heartbreak that left him scrambling for relevance. If you think you've heard it all, buckle up. This is a roller coaster ride, and we're just getting started. Long before the drama and allegations, Jack was just another kid, fixated on YouTube channels and the promise of online stardom. He devoured every how-to video on racking up views and followers, internalizing those viral formulas. It seemed harmless enough. Everyone starts somewhere, and for a while, he was your average bright-eyed teen making harmless pranks and high-energy vlogs. But the second he earned that first taste of real virality, 1 million views in a single night, something in him changed. The surge of likes and subscribes was like a shot of adrenaline. Suddenly, the daily routine of filming challenges and comedic sketches wasn't enough. He wanted the next big moment, the next viral spike, the next front-page feature. In chasing that validation, Jack began pushing the limits of what was acceptable, legal, and safe. And so, the seeds were planted for the precarious road ahead, where success overshadowed caution, and a relentless need for internet points outweighed common sense. He had a natural gift for entertaining. Nobody can deny that. His channel started blossoming, and his circle of friends expanded. Soon, rumors of extravagant spending and boundary-pushing content trickled across social media. A glossy mansion in an upscale neighborhood, expensive supercars, late-night parties brimming with influencers, starlets, and big personalities. In an era where more eyes on your content equals more cash, Jack was riding the wave as best he could. But as we'll see, riding that wave didn't just mean bigger paychecks. It also meant bigger risks, higher stakes, and deeper trouble brewing beneath the surface. Fueled by new wealth and a thirst for continued relevancy, Jack started stacking dollars and headlines in equal measure. Every click and comment felt like rocket fuel, pushing him further into a lifestyle that looked like a Hollywood script. He flaunted sports cars in his driveway and posted about VIP sections at clubs that welcomed him with open arms. Where once there was a humble teen, there now stood a self-proclaimed king of content, unstoppable in his own mind. But money and fame can be deceptive. When your livelihood depends on capturing attention, each stunt needs to top the previous one. Jack's content strategy shifted from harmless vlogs to borderline unethical pranks and dangerous feats. Allegedly, he was encouraging friends and onlookers to do near impossible dares, sometimes involving property damage or stunts that put people at risk. Despite the public outcry, or perhaps because of it, he saw the backlash as another rung on the ladder of notoriety. Every time he pushed it too far, he'd shrug it off as part of the hustle. To him, it wasn't about crossing lines. It was about stepping into the extreme for the sake of more eyes on his content. His fan base grew, but so did the critics. Family-friendly sponsors vanished. Concerned watchers voiced their disapproval. And still, Jack marched on, eyes set on the next social media milestone. He believed he was immune. After all, when the money's rolling in, it's hard to imagine a final crash. Yet behind his back, the first threads of unraveling had already begun. Jack's need for bigger paychecks led him into shady territory, a realm that teetered between questionable ethics and potential legality issues. According to various insiders, he was masterminding deals with newly 18-year-old girls, promising them stardom in exchange for a cut of their profits from a certain platform that rhymes with Lonely Dan's. The deals were rumored to be exploitative. Some girls claimed they were contractually trapped, handing over significant portions of their earnings while Jack's team maintained tight control of their content and branding. Whispers began circulating that not all the participants were genuinely 18 when recruited, although these allegations were never concretely proven in a court of law. Regardless, the damage was done in the court of public opinion. Viewers and fans began asking hard questions. Was this influencer empire built on pressuring young women into questionable arrangements? Did Jack's contract terms border on manipulative or even illegal? How far was he willing to go to maintain his lavish lifestyle? Some labeled him a marketing genius, while others compared his hustle to a pyramid built on vulnerable individuals. More stories emerged, stories involving underage kids, NDAs, behind-the-scenes threats. Each new rumor chipped away at the glossy image of a teenage dream turned entrepreneurial success. The more he tried to deny or downplay these controversies, the more they grew. And yet, for a time, it seemed like Jack was untouchable, continuing to rake in profits. Fans either turned a blind eye or weren't fully aware of the extent of the controversies. But all it takes is one explosive revelation for a digital empire to topple. Rumors mutated into full-fledged allegations. Former close friends jumped ship, and the fortress Jack built on social capital began trembling. As if the controversies around his so-called business ventures weren't enough, Jack managed to blow up his image, quite literally, on a slick patch of rainy freeway. One stormy afternoon, he was live streaming or possibly recording on his phone while behind the wheel of a $200,000 McLaren. Conditions were terrible. Visibility was low. And it was no secret he wasn't giving the road his full attention. In a heartbeat, the supercar lost control, spun out, and slammed into a barrier, leaving twisted metal and shattered glass in its wake. Jack's passenger, apparently injured and in shock, was left to fend for himself. Meanwhile, Jack seemed more concerned about capturing the aftermath on camera, trying to whip out TikToks as if the entire event were a cinematic moment made for online consumption. News of the crash exploded on social media. Shock quickly turned to anger. Observers criticized his reckless disregard for basic safety and his cavalier attitude in the moments following the accident. But the fallout didn't stop public condemnation. The popular streaming platform Kick banned him, citing gross negligence and violation of its policies. This ban hammered a major source of Jack's income, slicing off yet another financial lifeline. Real-world consequences were piling up in a very tangible way. He had wrecked an expensive car, and in the process, thrown away the trust of a platform that was crucial to his brand. Still, he didn't slow down. Instead, he doubled down on the pursuit of viral infamy. Some say that was the moment Jack could have paused, reflected, and changed course. Instead, it became the prelude to even greater chaos. Determined not to let one platform ban define him, Jack went on a mission to align himself with the biggest celebrities, rappers, and content creators in the game. But instead of forging genuine relationships, he tried to buy his way in, shelling out astronomical sums to bring big names to his parties or spam gift subs in their live streams. Take the time, he reportedly dropped over $100,000 on a rap artist's appearance fee, hoping to wow the crowd and film lit behind-the-scenes content for his channel. The rapper barely acknowledged him, gave a lackluster performance, and disappeared before half the partygoers realized he'd even shown up. If Jack expected an on-stage handshake and a special shout-out, he got a rude awakening. He tried again with another major name, apparently haggling day of about whether he'd actually spent $200,000. The tension in the room was palpable. The performer went through the motions, and Jack ended the night looking like a starstruck fanboy who'd grossly overpaid for a cameo. Publicly, he claimed the events were a success. Privately, people described them as desperate attempts at relevance. Then came the fiasco with a well-known streamers community. Jack hopped into the streamers chat, dropping gifted subs by the hundreds, each donation a plea for attention and acceptance. On the surface, it looked like a friendly gesture, but to the streamer's fanbase, it reeked of clout chasing. Comments poured in, roasting Jack, labeling him a try-hard, willing to purchase a cameo cameo on the channel. Each public embarrassment chipped away at the mystique he'd cultivated. Instead of seeing him as a savvy up-and-comer, audiences started branding Jack as a cautionary tale, the influencer who thought throwing money around was the same as respect, unaware that genuine relationships aren't for sale. Just when viewers thought Jack's controversies had peaked, the people closest to him, especially the young women entangled in his subscription-based projects, began distancing themselves. One high-profile name, McKinley, famously packed her belongings in front of the police and left his home, leaving him shouting in protest while cameras rolled. It felt like a reality show meltdown, except it was real life with potential legal undertones. Her friend, also one of Jack's business associates, alleged that the situation had grown downright alarming. They shared stories of hush-hush texts, aggression, and real fear that things might escalate. McKinley had reportedly hidden in a different car to avoid confrontation. Police body cam footage surfaced, revealing a tense standoff where Jack insisted nobody had the right to be in his house, while McKinley and her friends insisted she had every right to collect her personal things. In the background, the rumor mill shifted into overdrive. Some claimed Jack had resorted to physical intimidation. Others said it was purely verbal and emotional. But if there's one universal truth, it's that calling the cops is rarely someone's first choice. For her to take that step signaled something had gone drastically wrong. As these allegations stacked, his squeaky clean, cool kid persona looked more and more like a mirage. One by one, associates cut ties, and the public outcry intensified. Jack's repeated denials on Twitter, demanding proof, photos, or bruises, only made him look more reckless in the eyes of many. It was as if he believed that without a black and blue mark, there couldn't possibly be wrongdoing. With almost every ally gone and revenue streams drying up, Jack took to live streams and social media rants in a last-ditch effort to salvage his name, or at least vent his rage. He'd start off defensive, insisting none of the allegations were true, then pivot to crying about how quickly everyone abandoned him. One moment, he'd declare the entire world was out to ruin him. The next, he'd lament that he'd once made $1.5 million a month and was now struggling to pay bills. Viewers watched in real time as he cycled through disbelief, anger, regret, and back to anger again. Some sympathized with a young guy who might have lost himself in the frenzy of online stardom. Others dismissed it as crocodile tears, reasoning that he was more upset about losing money than grappling with any moral reckoning. While Jack insisted there was no evidence of wrongdoing, more and more leaked snippets of body cam footage and first-hand testimonies continued cropping up. His own meltdown streams became fodder for commentary channels, each bisecting his tone shifts and contradictory statements. The once charismatic host of sponsored parties and glitzy collabs was now alone in an empty house he might not even afford much longer. Jack's story is a modern cautionary tale about how quickly the internet can lift someone to unimaginable heights and how brutally it can drop them once cracks appear. He had it all: the buzz, the money, the lifestyle that so many people chase. But in his pursuit of staying relevant at any cost, through questionable contracts, reckless stunts, and alienating behavior, he carved out a path riddled with controversies and potential legal landmines. Perhaps the most sobering lesson from Jack's downfall is that fame without integrity collapses under its own weight. The house of cards can look solid when the spotlight is on you, but one gust of scandal, or a series of them, sends everything tumbling. For onlookers, it's an unsettling glimpse into the toxic side of clout culture, where moral boundaries are blurred and friendships turn transactional. Is there a second act for Jack after all these shocking allegations and humiliations? Or is his downfall a permanent stain on his digital legacy? We may never know for sure until he either stages a comeback or fades into the background. One thing's certain, the internet rarely forgets. And in Jack's case, the meltdown, the heartbreak, and the controversies have all been meticulously archived for anyone looking to learn from or simply gawk at one of the wildest YouTube flameouts in recent memory. In the end, Jack's saga challenges us all to think about the price of chasing online glory. Is it worth sacrificing your principles, your relationships, and ultimately your peace of mind just for that next viral clip? Because once you start sinking, the very people who cheered you on might be the same ones tuning in to watch the spectacular crash.